what would you say, how would you define intuition? How would you define where intuition even comes from?
Well, I think we have six senses and they're all physically or based. I think that our intuition is the conscious awareness and perception of our heart. It's the first organ in the body to develop. It's where we source life. You know, when you hear the heartbeat, you know that there's an intention of a life coming in. And that heart is a conscious and empowered organ that perceives in three ways. It scans energy around you, so it's protective. It connects one consciousness to another, like the heartbeat of the baby, in utero to the mother. That continues after the fact. Then we start beginning to connect with the heartbeats of those around us. That's telepathy. And then our heart also connects to our soul history. That's taps into our subconscious mind. So it's like a satellite that draws from several resources of information, but it's not language, it's vibration. We sense and feel energy with this inner sense, and it connects us to our higher self, it connects us to our body, it connects us to our path, our integrity. But we have to learn to pay attention and be quiet enough to feel it. And then we have to language it, because intuition in itself is pure energy that's moving and influencing. So we have to quiet our talking brain enough to feel it and understand it as it begins to move us. So, but we're all born with it. The second source is your gut. The stomach is what some scientists now recently are calling your second brain. It also, and it's a different level of intuition. What comes through in the gut is protection. That frequency is about safety and survival. And so that's often where most people get their first experience of intuition. They feel like I'm in danger, or that's not safe, or they have it. But unfortunately, because it can be an alert, some people equate intuition with bad things. It's like, well, not really. Think this through. If you're being warned about something, it's not a bad thing. It's protecting you from a bad thing. But we have to learn to be more discriminating about what we're feeling. So we have the gut, we have the heart, and then we have the third eye, which is the third source. And this is where we imagine, where we have visions, where we dream, but also it's a place where we begin to see. Like when we say, I see, it's like I have an inner vision, an inner picture of things that are not apparent physically. So we're a complex system that has, it's like you have a lot of intuitive resources. So if one doesn't work, there's another and another. And ideally we get them all going at the one time. At the same time, then you're really in the flow.
And your super intuitive faculties are really tuned up leveled to the next level.
They will take care of you. Yeah, they'll keep you safe. They'll connect you to the right relationships. They will keep you healthy. And they will give you direction on how to be your most creative, successful self.
It's fascinating. I learned about the second brain from a doctor when I lived in San Diego sometime around 2007, 2008. He called it the gut brain. And they identified, there's actually more neurons within your gut and your intestines and so forth than there are in the brain in your head.
Right.
And I started equating that with intuition, because that's where a lot of my feelings were coming from at the time of just tuning in and recognizing, do this, don't do that. And it was very protective, and sometimes it can feel fear-based, right? But I think that information is something we have to listen to. And then now, which they've already identified quite some time ago as well, but it's becoming more mainstream science, that even our hearts are like the third brain, if you will. They actually communicate more with our brain than our brain does with our heart. Our hearts produce hormones and so forth, and it's so much more than just this blood pumping organ. It's actually, it's intelligent. It has neurons and it communicates with our body. And so, I love how you just identified like three main sources of intuition, because I can very much relate with having connected to those three different levels of intuition and starting to recognize the difference between them, because there is a difference.
I kind of break it down because I think we learn best with metaphor. So I say you have red light intuition, green light intuition, and yellow light intuition. So your red light intuition is that first protective, don't go there, stop, be aware, caution. Green light is do this, take the risk, follow that, open your heart, trust yourself. And caution, the yellow light intuition is wait, it's not time yet. People need to understand the rational brain is all or nothing, black or white, yes or no. But intuition lives in a third space, which it doesn't follow those rules because it's working out of a different timeline. So sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no, and sometimes it's pause. And that's intuition too. To just say, maybe it's not time yet, maybe things are developing, maybe you need to get a little more in touch with what your priorities are. So if we can think red light's gut, green light's heart, and this brain here is pause. It's like, get your vision clear, and then you'll see your way forward. So I try to make it as simple as possible because I think we're information bloated. And I think metaphors make it easier to grasp and work with.